On the podcast today, we're talking about how to pitch a song and avoiding some common mistakes. Plus, we'll have music by Delisa Archer, a great cover of Won't He Do It. Welcome to the Christian Musicpreneur podcast, where we provide tips, tools, techniques, and resources to help you grow your ministry. I'm your host, Simone Henry, a business coach and mentor for independent Christian recording artists. What I wanted to say, I guess I should introduce myself. My name is Simone Henry. I am a coach and mentor, a business coach and mentor for independent Christian recording artists. And I guess I should say business because when people ask me questions and they want to know how they should, create their songs and, they just need help on their sound and just things like that, that is not my expertise. I can give you my opinion, but again, that's not my expertise. So I normally ask other people, ask like producers that I trust to listen to it and tell me their opinion. And they would let me know, what the productions should sound like. So all that to say is that I am a business coach for Christian independent recording artists. If you're watching, say hello, by the way. What I do is I help you to brand yourself and build your fan base so that you can make money with your music. Basically, turn your music ministry into a thriving business. So many of the artists that I meet and see on a regular basis. Hello, Emilio. Hola. So many of them will ask me, how to get on the charts and different things like that. Hello, Samaria. That is not my expertise. To me, the mark of success is, are you able to sustain your ministry without necessarily constantly taking money from your personal account or from, the money you make on your job? Is your ministry self-sustaining? I've heard of lots of artists who have gotten on some of the biggest stages in the world, have been opening for some large acts, have been nominated for Dove and Stellar Awards. But when it comes to being able to buy a sandwich at the local sandwich shop, they need to borrow $5 from somebody, So, yeah, you were on a big stage, but you have no money in your pocket. So what is really the mark of success? Then there are those artists who get played on the big terrestrial stations, the big terrestrial networks, FM networks. And okay, yeah, their music gets played. And then once that airplay stops, then what? Can the people who liked your song find you again? Do they know who you are? Do they know how to get to your website, your socials, anything? I've heard lots of artists tell me that, yeah, I'm getting radio airplay. That's great. Is it enough to become a household name? And then, they get a boost in traffic. They may get a boost in traffic to their websites or to their socials. And then that traffic goes away once that airplay goes away. Once you are, your song is aged off of the rotation, can you keep those people engaged who were listening to your song who really liked it? You know, can you still contact them? Can you still can you entice them to listen to your newest song that maybe you haven't gotten on the radio, right? So this is so when it comes to what is success in the music business, radio airplay may not be it because it's so short-lived. And then we were talking on Music Industry Makeover yesterday. We were talking about how radio is a medium that you can't control as an artist. You know, you can control how many radio stations you submit to, maybe, because some of these stations may not even accept music directly from artists. They may only accept music from radio promoters, you know. And if you, you know, you can go and spend that money on a radio promoter, but then that's all they do. They don't help you with anything else. They just put your music in front of the music directors and the program directors of radio stations who are actually really looking for big name artists because those are the ones that bring listeners. And they really need listeners right now because radio has so much more competition now than they did a few years ago, right? When I get into my car, when I want to listen to music, I connect my phone to the Bluetooth and I'm streaming music on YouTube Music, you know. And I know a lot of you are like that, the same way, right? You're using Spotify, you're using Apple Music. You're not even listening to an actual FM radio station or AM radio station, you know? And I've heard so many people say how frustrated they are with the radio stations now because there are so many commercials. They're playing the same 5 songs every 15 minutes, you know? I remember I had a long commute from Baltimore to DC a few years ago. And during that commute, if I happened to be listening to the radio, I would hear the same song multiple times within that hour and a half to 2 hour window that it took me to commute. So for a lot of stations, radio, the music has become just a break between commercials, to be perfectly honest. Sad as it is. But so is radio airplay a mark of success in your music ministry? That is something to consider. But that's really all, you know, about introduction. Basically what I do is I help you to engage your fans, to build up your fan base, and to market yourself in such a way that you actually bring in an income. To me, and hopefully to a lot of you out there, actually having an income from your music ministry is more of a mark of success. When the fans, the people that you're trying to reach, if they are engaged, if they are excited about your music, if they are sharing your music with their family and friends, you know, I feel like that's a mark of success. And that's also a great audience that can be monetized and that can bring in income for your ministry so that you can continue your ministry and can go longer, right? So to me, that is the mark of success, and that is why I do what I do. I help artists to, you know, to make some money. So Samaria says you have to treat yourself as such and remain consistent and proactive and find multiple ways to continue to market and stay successful. Absolutely. Absolutely. Too often I find that when artists are releasing music, when they think about their marketing, the first and only thing that they think about is radio. And I am here to tell you that there are more ways to market your music than just radio, right? Multiple avenues. Don't focus on just one outlet. Absolutely. Absolutely, Samaria. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about pitching. Pitching your music to industry professionals, podcast hosts, radio hosts. You know, when I say radio, I'm mostly talking about your internet radio stations, your internet radio hosts, people who actually want to hear from independent artists, people who are actually eager to receive new music from indie artists, people who are not necessarily household names, but who have really good music and music that can stand up right next to Kirk Franklin and Fred Hammond. Okay, so here's the issue. I got an email yesterday from an artist who sent me a press release, and they were basically pitching me their new song. So the problem with it, as I was scanning this press release, I realized that first of all, this artist is not a Christian artist. So what that says to me is that they have no idea who I am and what I do and what kind of music I like or promote or anything like that. They just said, here, we're submitting this for airplay. And I'm thinking, what airplay are you submitting this for? I don't have a radio station or a radio show. Where exactly are you expecting me to play this? Now, I am planning on relaunching my podcast soon, but did they know that? And when I do relaunch my podcast, I am going to be playing music. However, it's not going to be secular music. So clearly they didn't know who I am and what kind of music to send me. Nothing like that. Nothing. So that immediately was a problem. So, and this is not the only time this has happened. Most of the time I don't get secular music. Most of the time I do get gospel music. However, it's unsolicited. People are just sending me their music just kind of willy-nilly. Most of the time I don't get a press release. I don't even get a hello. Hey, Simone, would you like to listen to my new song? I don't even get that a lot of times. I'll just get a link in my inbox. People will just drop a YouTube link. And when I reply and say, hey, why are you sending me this? Oh, I thought it would bless you. Okay. You could have said that. Or I'll get links that say, hey, check out my song and tell me what you think. Here's the problem with that one. First of all, I'm not your fan. I could give you my opinion, but it's going to take time out of my day to listen to your song, which was unsolicited. And how much does my opinion really matter to you? If I say I don't like your song, how does that change your life or how you produce music in any way? What does that really do for you? What I find is that many Christian independent artists, they care more about what industry people think than about what their own audiences think and their own fans think. They will send their music to people like me and ask me what I think. Again, I'm not a producer. I'm not like an audiophile person. I like what I like. And my creativity tends to run to business ideas, to be perfectly honest. So sending me your music and asking me what I think doesn't really help you a whole lot. What are you going to do with it? If I say it's fantastic, but your fans think it's awful, now what? The people who really matter are your fans. Why? They're the ones streaming it and buying it. You know, you may have, if you want to be on any award show or anything, you may have some people in your fan base who are voting members of the different academies. You know, your fans are the ones who you should really find out if they like your song or not. They're the ones who should get the final vote, not somebody like me, to be perfectly honest. Of course, right up front, your song should be produced well, and your song structure should make sense. You know, I remember I was at this concert once and this lady was singing. I couldn't tell what the verse was, what the chorus was, what the vamp was. It sounded like she had like three different vamps in the song. I couldn't tell what the chorus was. And then the verse was just, I don't know, it was all over the place. I could not follow this song. So that's why one of my tips is learn how to write a song before you break the rules. Because, you know, it's perfectly fine to do something different and to tweak it, but I feel like people should still be able to follow the song. You know, and that's just basics, right? Beyond that, it's up to your fans, not necessarily somebody like me. Okay, so that's the problem. Here is how to pitch your songs properly, in a better way, in a way that doesn't annoy the people that you're sending it to, right? First of all, do your homework. If you're sending it to somebody who has a show, a podcast, find out what style of music they like and how they want to be contacted. And of course, you should also find out if they're even accepting new music. Are they even looking for new music? Because you might be sending them stuff that they don't want and it just goes into the trash. You know, listen to the show first. Listen to the host. Make sure that the music that you're sending actually matches what they're playing. You know, I had a gospel station years ago, and we'd get all kinds of stuff. It was more of an urban contemporary station. So to send us, you know, old style, traditional gospel probably wasn't the best. To send us a ton of CCM music wasn't the best. You know, there are a few hip hop stations and stuff out there. You know, they'll get, you know, the traditional gospel songs, and it doesn't match. It doesn't match. And if it doesn't match, then you're wasting your time. Your music is automatically going to go in the trash. And you don't want that, because guess what? What if, especially if you're constantly sending your music to people, if you keep sending a station, a podcast, you keep sending these people the wrong music, they're gonna remember you, and when your name comes up in some circles, it's not gonna be good. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. I'm just gonna say it that way. You know, the industry is small. People do talk, and you know, your name will just create a bad taste in people's mouths. Like, they're constantly sending me stuff that I just don't want. They don't pay any attention to my show. Okay? When you're pitching, show that you understand who they are and what they do, right? There's a podcast that I listen to. The podcast is about music and the music business and how to market yourself and everything. The funny thing with them is that they don't play any music, but that doesn't stop them from getting music from lots of different artists saying, hey, here's my new song, play my new song. Well, this podcast doesn't play music, so why are you sending this to me? Yeah, so pay attention. Find out if the person that you're sending the music to has a problem that needs to be solved. You know, um, what if they need more hip hop in their playlist? What if they need um, more R&B in their playlist? What if they need some CCM in their playlist, right? Show that you're paying attention, that you've heard what the issue is. And if you can actually solve that problem, then say, here's my song. It will, I heard you talk about, say that you wanted some more CCM for this particular show that you're working on. You know, my song is CCM. Do that. Don't just send them a link and they have no idea what it's for. But acknowledge, I hear you have a problem. This song will solve it or will help solve it, you know? If somebody is putting together a showcase, a concert or something, and they need some artists to fill the program, submit yourself as an artist who can help fill it. If it's already full, you know, say something like, you know, I can be ready at a moment's notice if anybody drops out. You know, I'm sure you don't want to be left in the lurch. I am ready to be there to help you, right? Be succinct and get to the point. I've been having this trouble lately. I've been getting lots of people messaging me in my inbox, and what they say is hello. And they wait for me to respond, and I say hello or nice to meet you. And then they say, how's your family? And I am completely confused because I don't know you. Why are you asking about my family? I don't really do small talk, really. You know, if you have something you want to ask me, just ask. Forget the small talk. We are not best friends from the block, okay? If you have something that you want to ask or you want to say, a comment that you want to make, just get to it. Stop leaving me guessing about what it is you're messaging me about, okay? Because it's a waste of time and it's confusing. That's my personal opinion. When you're sending emails, don't send attachments, especially if your email is unsolicited. If they didn't ask for you to attach your MP3, don't. Sometimes, depending on what email system people are using, space is a premium. Memory is a premium. So if you're filling up their inbox with your attachments, you know, I get sometimes where people will send me 3 and 4 songs as an attachment, plus attach a PDF of their EPKs and a PDF of the press release, and then just attachment after attachment after attachment. And I don't know them from Adam. All you're doing is taking up space, right? First, write me an email, find out if I even want any of this. Find out if, you know, like we said before, listen to the show, listen to the podcast, whatever. Make sure your music even fits, you know, and then write me a note. Say, hey, you know, my song will fit your format. Are you looking for new music? And if I write back and say yes, you know, please send it this way. Send me a link to download the song rather than attaching it. When I do this for artists that I'm working with, I will send press releases to program directors and different people, and I will put the text of the press release directly in the email. No attachment necessary. I'm not trying to clog up anybody's inbox. Okay? It's a shame that, you know, all of these cloud services and, you know, Dropbox and Gmail and all these different cloud services, they give us all this great free space that we can use. The problem is sometimes all of that space can get used up pretty quickly if you are receiving emails from multiple people, all with attachments. So be mindful of that, especially if it's unsolicited. Okay. Use an email account with your domain name. That helps protect your brand, right? You're not advertising for Google. So, and if you have a website, your host automatically gives you access to have as many emails as you want. So get with your host and learn how to set up your domain name email address. It just looks more professional. It just looks, and it looks a lot less random, you know. And prepare for rejection. Not all of your submissions are going to be accepted. Don't take it personally. You know, when they say no, it may mean not right now. It may mean we're full, or I have all I need. Try again later. Okay? So just because they say no doesn't mean it's no forever. All right? And, you know, we know that your music is your baby. You put hard work into it, blood, sweat, and tears into it, you know, all your inspiration into it. It's your baby. But not everybody is ready to receive at the moment when you are ready to send. Okay? So those are some tips. Oh, here's another one. One more. If the person that you're sending to has a website, check to see if there are specific instructions for how to submit your music. Some people, like when I was accepting music for the radio station a while back, I set up a submission form to get the music. And the reason I did that was because I wanted to have the music set up in a playlist where I could just kind of listen to song after song after song and choose the ones that I wanted, rather than going from this email to that email to this email and the other email. You know, everybody has their process. Not everybody's process is the same. You know, for a lot of people, you can send an MP3 and they're perfectly fine with that. For other people, they might want a WAV file. Either way, you know, make sure that your file is tagged properly so they know who it is that sent it, if it gets separated from your email or anything, because you want to make sure that you are getting the royalties if they do decide to play your song. So those are my tips for pitching your music to industry professionals and podcasters and different people like that. If you are loving this content and you want to work with me to help your ministry move forward, then schedule a call with me now at eshemusic.com/MMA. That's ECHEmusic.com/MMA. I'm looking forward to talking with you.
All right. Yeah. Won't he do it? He said he would.
Fight your battles for you, think and wonder how you sleep at night.
Won't he do it? Yes, he will.
Anybody tell you something different, you know that's a lie. You gonna look back and be so amazed. How it turns out, it's only his grace. Won't he do it? He said he would. So I trust him at all times.
Ain't nobody stopping my shine. They try to break me, try to take me out, but I got Jesus on my side. That's so bad I thought I would die. Ain't nobody stronger than the one that came and laid down his life. I've got mountains to climb, but the enemy can't stop me, 'cause there's a calling on my life. So when I'm crying, don't last too long, 'cause he's gonna step in and make it alright. Won't he do it? He said he would, yeah.
Fight your battles, boy, and they gon' wonder how you sleep at night.
Won't he do it? Yes, he will.
Anybody tell you something different, you know that's a lie. You gon' look back and be so amazed. How it turns out it's only his grace. Won't he do it? He said he would.
So I trust him.
So I trust him at all times.
'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, yeah.
So I trust him at all times.
Just to take him at his word, yeah.
So I trust him at all times.
Just to rest upon his promise.
So I trust him at all times.
Just to know it was said by God.
So I trust him at all
say,
times.
won't he do it?
Won't he do it?
Yeah.
He said he would.
Oh,
Fight your battles, while you think and wonder how you sleep
won't he
at
do
night.
it?
He
Oh,
said he would.
yeah.
Anybody tell you something different, you know that's
You
a
gonna
lie.
look back,
You gon' look
yeah.
back and be so amazed.
How it turned
How
out.
it turned out is only his
Won't he do
grace.
it?
Won't he do it? He
Yeah.
said he would.
Do I have a witness?
So I trust him at all times.
Do I have a witness to say I will?
So I trust him at all times.
Anybody believe the word of the Lord?
So I trust him at all times. So I trust him at all times.
Yeah. So I trust him.
So I trust him at all times.
Thanks for listening to the Christian Musicpreneur podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, it would mean a lot to me if you would like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Feel free to share your takeaways in the comment section below and join my free Facebook group, Christian Recording Artists Seeking Freedom. See you next time, and remember to take action and never